Hello and welcome back. I've been kind of distracting myself. I just like full stop, kind of stopped paying attention for like two or 3 days to everything I was doing. I was talking about over here. I was literally intending to make a video about Australia that night. The last video I made in the day, I was figuring I'd make another one, and then I just got kind of so here we are. So maybe I'll turn. The reason I started looking at this region in Australia, they brought up on this one. I'll link this video. They brought up on this video leak project, which was Rex and Dave, I believe. Pardon me. But they were pointing out this location, and I was like, whoa. So I started looking over there. So we're going to go through the chain of events that culminated in. So I have tried to figure out how to triangulate these things. They point out these structures, these spiral structures in the terrain, seemingly man-made based on how they appear, although I'm not sure yet. So I tried to triangulate them. I believe like a good position is like this spot here, from like here to here, and then around here somewhere. So this place, I found this place. We're gonna just go through some things. I gotta find them first. Maybe I should have actually found them before I hit record, because I knew it's even been days since I looked. This is how hard they are to find. I found this to be interesting. Like, I didn't find it, but like its shape is very relevant to the discussion and other things. Okay, that's right. It was 18 point, like around here maybe. Let's get some rivers. We need some names. Okay, here we go. It's over here somewhere. It's okay because we can kind of look at the terrain. It's very interesting in this region. Like, it would be nice if you guys could see what I was talking about. Maybe I should hit restart. That's how hard they are to find that I've already... Okay, Johnston River. This is the river. So they're probably around here. We found them. We found them. At least the general region. I don't see any right off the bat. Here we go. Boom. There they are. Some of them. So, like, they look man-made at first glance. I mean, obviously. But before I, like, unequivocally agree with that, possibility, I do see some oddities, like right here, for instance. So let's go back to them. They're very, very much just like a spiral in shape. It goes to a center. Rather odd. Like, possibly irrigation based reasoning. If man-made, then for irrigation kind of thing. Like, they're all over here. They were not able to find any pictures of them. I was not able to find any pictures of them besides satellite imagery. But they're in the terrain all over the place, all over. So definitely piqued my interest. This is what got me looking around here. But if you like look right here, from here up this way, and then around here down this way, there's generally a center here with like a yin yang appearance. Like it's possible there's some forms of eddies and then like an outflow here. This almost looks like an ammonite, like the Colorado Plateau, that had a flow out of it, and then maybe a good representation of an ammonite would be useful. So like this ammonite, this is what I find most intriguing. Like if there's a spiral and then at the end of the spiral all of these discs that are made by current flows. These are not fossils, made by current flows. This was shaped during the expansion of the Earth, which was the global flood event. Shaped by the current flows and then produced out of like beyond the stable boundary of this spiral here. It produced these discs. Kind of reminds me of what's going on here in this shape here with discs down there. I mean, they're within as well. I'm not sure. Like something's up down here. So I looked around a bit. Just looking around. They're definitely more than I've come across, especially right now. But I did not want to just talk about those. Those were more so like the entry point into what we're going to talk about. I don't want to like make this about them. They're very interesting. My thought is I want to entertain the possibility that they are the result of the flood. That current flows induced eddies that swirled in. Here goes, so it'd swirl in this way. Just thinking if water could swirl one way and the land within it be shaped by swirling another way. I don't know. I'd like to find, before we step away from these, I would like to find the features I saw nearby that were like, whoa. So like in shallograms, they tend to have connection points etched into the surface of the shallogram between the eddies that formed within the stone. Like, let's find a good one with several eddies. Doesn't have a connection there, but like, let's see. I'm trying to find one like this, like this kind. They tend to be physically connected at points. This one doesn't seem to have the connections I'm looking for. But at points, like in the same way as those spirals, if they are naturally made, are not everywhere on Earth. Like here, these tend to connect in ways that are a little too interconnected. Again, not completely here, but I'm not sure if that was the best example either. Some of them are literally just like, here's a spiral, and then a connection, another spiral, another connection. Like, they're all etched into. I just have so many. Maybe this one? Maybe. I don't think so either. Where it's visible that there was like a connection between this system. This is kind of doing it there, over to the systems over there, but not in the most distinguishable way. Maybe there. That connection goes up and connects into what's going on here. That kind of thing. The point is, these type of current flows are connections between the eddies forming in shallograms. And it's possible, like when I see things of this nature, that they were actual current flows etching, producing just that subtle feature in this case. So if we go to Duncan Road, and where Johnston and River and Duncan Road meet here, and start looking in this area. I found this, they didn't say anything about it, I'm not sure what to make of it. I believe it's here. Like, we kind of see some structure here. It's not it, but this is, I believe, connected to it. If we keep going back here. Maybe it's ruins, maybe it's some aboriginal constructions. Like, I don't know what to make of this. And on top of that, if we keep going out, like this goes up this way and bends back over here, and then this seems to go like this, so to like relatively, like there's a general propagation through it along this channel with ripples like going around it. If current flows are involved, like, okay, before I sound too ridiculous suggesting current flows are involved in any way, let's go back out. So I was thinking, this region here has like this flow, all this etching over here, and then it has this thing here, and then this over this way here, and then kind of over to here, this structure that kind of goes this way and this way. And I was thinking, how did that happen? I don't know the geology, like age. I don't know the age of this terrain, and I know Australia has a lot of older geological terrain, but my thought is, because I looked at this map and I was thinking in reference to previous videos with regard to the flooding waters on the earth, it's like, what if I overlay them like I was doing with the other ones? So I did it for, let's start Northern Australia. This is that region. See, there's actually a structure there that like wraps around. So there's a bending in the structure underground here, and it's got kind of like an overall, like the one that I was pointing at that kind of looked like an eddy. That the eddies were within, that I was talking about, the bubble things coming out of the other ammonite. This one, like that region that I was comparing to there, it kind of looks like that, just bigger. And even so, let's go out. This one's not the best because it doesn't show enough like Australian detail. Now we can kind of see the whole ammonite. Let me get out of here to even go up here. That'd be a little guy. Hello, everyone. Okay, so here's that region, but it's within this larger ammonite. So it's like in here, ammonite structures are forming that are then exhausting. Like they're essentially a current comes in, it eddies, and then it exhausts out of that eddy, progresses further, eddies, exhausts, and just moves in the resistance that's holding it. So it wraps around this, doing that eddy, 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 producing an ammonite structure in the underlying terrain of the Australian continent and surroundings of the continental shelf material. Notice over here it like balloons out even. That's interesting. Like this is where the Philippines were, right from about here I believe to there. Let's pull it up. I guess here. Was that where that was? Oh yeah. So the Philippines were there. Borneo was down here, starting from about there, or somewhere. And then Sulawesi and Maluku around here, over. So this region had Philippines here, it had North Maluku Islands and Sulawesi here, Borneo here, and water flowing. My thought is an eddy was flowing here this way, counterclockwise when looking down from above. So that's what we're gonna like consider as we look at this. Before I move on from this, maybe let's just kind of take a gander. This is pretty well overlaid, I thought, because it was just the right area of the Earth. I didn't really have to rotate either image to overlay them. They just like overlaid well, which helped a lot. But we can kind of see, interestingly, this structure and this line across is actually, the structure itself starts here, but above it, within that feature in the terrain, here, this region, a current flow is going underneath the surface, basically this way. That connects over from here and goes this way. Or actually connects even from back here. Connects from back here and goes across like there. But what doesn't make it through is caused to go more up and bend, because it probably needed to make it through, like form an eddy here. So my thoughts are an eddy was forming here, and that's related to what we see in northwestern Australia, in this region right here, if we look at it, it's interesting. It's got like a divide that way, a partial divide this way, so it's creating like 4 quadrants. And it had 2, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but also 4. And it's kind of got a potential yin-yang type thing, where this one maybe has an extension into this one. I don't know. But interestingly, so if the current's going this way, or specifically this way, like this is an inner shell in this region, let's say, and an outer shell that extends to about here and bends generally around here as like an outer boundary. Then interestingly, like this thing is incredible. Imagine a current's flowing in at this boundary, running into resistance and bending, but through this channel too, right here, and across through here. Maybe this is a cross current going out based on that structure. I don't know. That's involved. Maybe over here too, holding this boundary. Maybe there's a cross current coming generally across this way. Or to there, to right there, especially. While this current's going this way, a cross current that it wraps around and kind of creates like a nook for the current to lodge in at the furthest distance, maybe. But then there's a current going this way and a current going this way. Or this way and this way? I guess this way and this way. Maybe could create that if it's generally going across. Okay, let me get a little... I feel so uninvolved. Please let me block the picture more and move it around like it's the other one. Okay, so we got lots of things going on, but back to this. This thing looks almost like it's like a boundary that then has like a cell embryo on the side, like it's giving birth to a particle. Maybe like the overall system is creating a decay particle, emission kind of thing, where it actually is emitting it to the side or under the process thereof, is kind of what I was thinking. So like this stretch right here, from basically down here, up this way, especially, and then up this way to generally like over here. This whole unit is kind of, in my envisioning, maybe even up to there, like just like a crystal shape. Crystal shape. Like a quartz crystal. Yeah, kind of like that, but just a single one. That kind of shape with like a heart, though. That's really that shape built around this in some way. So anyway, this thing really caught my attention because it looks relatively like it has a layering, like one layer, another layer out to here, another layer that get progressively more inward to a general center. It's certainly more complex, but we can see what appears to be cross currents going that way, possibly there. This way, though. this way, I mean, that's... If there's cross current going this way, that's relatively parallel to that. Like this. This region is so much to look at. So unique. If I zoom in on this and go like this, though, like maybe it's noticeable. Like you wouldn't really be able to see it, the structure as a whole, while in it or on it. But it's got an outer ring that seems to like try to get in and reach, like, and what I was kind of thinking is like this goes around and around this portion, and maybe from up here even like feeds in from over here at this general width and wraps around and around and around, and then it reaches like a pinch point over here where it gets like encouraged this way and kind of holds a boundary, but also keeps going and like begins to maybe differentiate because of this boundary happening. Like that these boundaries happen maybe lead to differentiation, and like only this material can only get so far, and then like a boundary happens where it kind of struggles to get past that point, and then other portions of the material that are here also maybe are more able to flow this way, but then they also run into resistance, and then it leads to this like condensed sandy. I don't know what this material is. I don't want to spitball here on materials because that's like one of my weaker points for certain. But let's keep going in. Like it wraps in kind of and goes around here. Like we kind of see boundaries of arms, if you will. So like one going down here around. It's got a little boundary there, a boundary there. If we follow the next one, though, from here, generally, around, like this width, and then they kind of merge. It's hard to say what's going on over here. Maybe they're separated along, like, this region. Some energy flow separation was happening, but just complexities of it all. Looks like possibly there was current going across this way and this way. One of these way, possibly up. Possibly. Ooh, it's even fed from a pole. How ridiculous. And then shoots from a pole up here to this kind of structure atop the sphere. Like the fundamentals of physics that are just sitting here waiting to be analyzed are kind of that's what I see when I look at this. So that this thing to me is possibly evidence that there are eddies in the region coupled with this. So we're seeing eddies in the region, and over wherever that other one was, over here, this thing. Like if you look closely, if we look closely at this, let's zoom in. We can see a sort of boundary here, and then a like extension from that boundary here that kind of goes out here. And then another extension out this way that kind of goes around here. So it's essentially spiraling. So if we go back this way, this here, around, around, around. Maybe it kind of goes this way. And then this way, and this way, and this way kind of thing. And then extended over here, broken apart here. Additional nuance because it's a little more complex and larger. But it's showing signs of similar structures in the region. Sorry, I couldn't find any didgeridoo music. Let's pause this tavern and music for some didgeridoo. I could only find short songs, so no long files. Australia, Southern Australia. Kind of see that structure there, like the boundary in this place where a current flowed. The blue means a place where a current flowed. The pink, purple is a place where a current compacted material, so it doesn't flow really as much there as it does through the blue regions. So we can kind of see a current flowed there, and that's interesting that it mimics that. This region here, you can kind of see it like a boundary even over here, there, and then maybe here. Let's see. Not so clear, although it's possible it's not exactly on. I think it's pretty accurate though. Oh no, it's not exactly on. It's this side's off by a little bit even. This is off by a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't quite exact. Okay, so it might be a little further over where the structure starts to show semblance of some interaction with the above terrain. Over here, we can kind of see that shape. This whole region is kind of more apparent there. So lots of interesting stuff with this. Can't really see all that much here. Let's see. It's not that apparent that something of this nature is going on there. Not really at all. Crazy. It is, though. It's not like it's not happening. It's in the magnetic anomalies. Okay. So that's that. Maybe we can check out Eastern Australia with regard to Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea when Solomon Islands was connected over here. North America there. So all these were near each other. There were current flows to North America from over here that were flowing up this way and over this way, which I generally attributed to here as like the source itself, but maybe it's actually flowing off of, like, relating to this flow going, maybe it was going like that way and over that way, maybe. Also, before I forget, wing, bird. With an interior bird too, like here, with like maybe like a blue jay kind of look, or Crow, possibly. I was thinking crow just because it's Australia and the Odin-related stuff that I've talked about, and ravens. But it doesn't really look like that. It looks honestly more like a blue jay to me, the head at least. But this, interestingly, looks kind of like a hummingbird with like its legs extended. Like it was literally sucking the nectar out of the flower of Antarctica from the undercurrents that were flowing from Antarctica, really from over here. Here's the mantle puncture hole where they flowed from when the Earth expanded. It did so by currents flowing from this location in Pakistan that then ended up going, ultimately creating a current down through Africa, and that then crossed into this region of Antarctica, just this region really, while the other region, so like Antarctica map geology, I don't know. Maybe we can see the two differences. Western Antarctica is where the current flowed. Eastern Antarctica is where I guess it just compacted relatively. It led to more compaction there. So it generally just flowed through here into the beak, and then interacting here, ran into resistance here from other currents, bent off it. It went into here and eddied within the chamber itself. So it was really feeding this hummingbird. This little feet, its little feet. Flying. This is kind of what I was thinking about. Something of this nature. Maybe a little wide. Although maybe this is the body and the wings really are the rest of it. One wing, two wing. And then the beak, I feel like, just extended and, I don't know, fell off like a bee's stinger. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. Other cool things I kind of felt like might be going on in Australia. I don't know why a hummingbird would be going on in Australia. But if you look here, this kind of looks like a claw. If you take this one and make it a claw that has an opening and go back this way, it's kind of, and then over here, some feet. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Uh-oh. Okay, that wasn't this playing? I don't know. I'm like, don't play copyright music. But maybe a stinger here, even. Another claw. Or maybe another claw. Stinger. One of those. Scorpion, essentially. That's what I'm getting at. Scorpion looking thing here. And then I looked like that. I kind of went like this. It's like, well, if this region has these little eddy things here, maybe like over here also has them, and I looked over here. Now I can't find it. Somewhere over here. Maybe this one. Somewhere it started to look like a spider. But I can't find it now. Is it here? Maybe. I don't think that was it, but it kind of looked like one too. Okay, so do I just try to figure out what kind of current? Like a current was flowing here this way. We've made it onto the continent of Australia with current flows because we can tell it flowed in this way and ran into resistance and went this way. And like extended up this way through here to like a general outlet point. And the current was definitely just like going along this way, and then here it was able to actually go along and etch this whole region, I guess. So down here it was running into more and more resistance, I guess, because of whatever's going on in relationship to this. There's probably some big old eddy of water that was just kind of cycling like this with two swirls in, heat exchanging as the process happened, but holding a boundary so that a current went like around like this here, feeding some in across that way. So maybe it did the same all the way around. With different angles. That's crazy. Whoa. How cool is that? Is that there? It's almost like from the nucleus here, like the inner core had a stream that got out that way and held a boundary. So I guess the nucleus was like there. Nucleus, that thing. Okay. I think that's pretty much all, I think. Yeah. It's been a couple days, so it's a little rough in my mind what exactly I found of most interest here. Definitely seeing some current paths here. Very laminar. Overwhelmingly going this way. Or off, one or the other. I just wonder if it has more structure around it. They start going down this way. Go around this thing. Past it we see generally in line. But also around and a little anomalous looking. Compared to the other side, it's different over here. Whoa. There's just so much detail. These things are like 10 meters tall, a lot of the features, 30, 40 meters relative to the surroundings. Not that pronounced, but I'm sure being there would be more noticeable. It's like right on this line. I don't even know if I noticed that line before. I think that's also copyright free, but I'll just stop playing music for now. Okay. I don't even know why it keeps putting that one. So we definitely see flows this way. Let's just follow this. This way, this way. Here, it looks like it starts going up a bit. Generally across. Definitely still seeing it going across this whole length. Whoa. Don't really see it there. Looks like it found a way up here more so. Around that way, I guess. So generally across here and around that way. We see it bending. Still see it bending. Like it's actually bending. Bending. And then just draining. So it's definitely flowing this way. Over, up and down. Over, up, down. So this must also be going this way. This is going this way. This is going this way. There's a current going this way, it seems, also. It kind of reminds me of the Hudson Bay, how currents generally flowing in and then it flows out and around and in like a scorpion tail thing, and then has this fanning structure here with these side things. Kind of reminds me of what I'm thinking might have happened here with an eddy here. It's going this way. Swirling, compressing in, and then inducing an outflow that maybe like ran into resistance generally and got caused to go this way, along this way, opposite. Because a lot of this is running opposite to the flow of undercurrents, which are highly magma based, where this would be water based flowing around this way, cooling off the magma, cooling off the magma flow that's generally coming in through here. So it's like interacting with it, heat exchanging, and then even maybe evaporating in the heat exchange to the point where it deposits salt. I don't know if that's salt or deposits something. Australia salt deposit map. Boron, Salt Lake systems. And those are salt lakes. Depositing whatever's in the water, depositing down here because of evaporation from heat exchanging. Because it's pretty much the nucleus of a atom, which is like an engine, like a star, that is decaying rapidly, going through these rapid decay sequences, producing an ammonite. It then heat exchanges the heat that it's emitting by the compression currents pushing it into existence, being hot, I guess, just by the hot magma aspect of it all. That just leads to a natural heat exchange process that evaporates the water away and it flows along here down this way. This is very reminiscent of this. Boundary down. Boundary down. So I wonder if this happened, like over here, in the first phase, before Papua New Guinea. Like, initially, Papua New Guinea was connected up here in this region. And Australia was, like, more possibly in line. Let's see if we can find a good... This is kind of where I would like to place it. Southeast Asia, where is... when it was happening, so maybe a current flow when was going across and then went down. This stuff needs to be up here. So this map is definitely not, like, completely perfect, obviously, but I'm just trying to place this in the currents that are happening elsewhere. Like, there's an eddy here. It's flowing this way. So that's kind of in line with a current going across here and then running into resistance, maybe. And then if there's a current going across this way and a current going this way, that would kind of encourage the continent down if the Earth was expanding as well and it was fracturing. Do. Let's see. Oh, this is also relatively straight across. Whoa. Almost looks like current like made it through here and then got like a jet stream sent out this way that created one of those regions between where it etched more in order to get through the resistance and then like push to this boundary region that it then also got through over here. Wow. Just goes up to these and stops. But it's clearly etched in them. So it's etched in whatever this is. It got compacted and then etched along the boundaries only. Maybe not only. More complex region. Oh my god. Okay, that's all I got for now. All I got for now. Pardon the delay. Not that it, most people aren't even gonna hear this until, so it's not really a delay. It's just I kind of feel like I might take a bit of a break, and I've been like on this train. Like if I go to my YouTube. And I go to, oh. No? That's weird. Either way, the first one of these was, like 250 days. Something like that. So really, like, and I have other videos in there too. So it's not like I'm not making videos, and it's probably too many videos in a lot of ways. It's just, like I totally lost this momentum. Instantaneously, I was just like, October 14th, 2022. 308 episodes of this. Peace.